Today is March 10th, 2024. Today is the first day of this 2 weeks retreat. I plan to talk about the Satipatthana, the 4 foundations of mindfulness in this 2-week retreat. But today, I just would like to encourage you to practice, to be able to practice diligently. So I just would like to share some words by the Buddha so that we can know how lucky we are to be born as a human being and to have a chance to practice this Satipatthana Vipassana meditation. There is one verse the Buddha has authored that Kitso manusa patilapo kitsang matsanang jivitang kitsang satthamma savanang kitso buddhanu mupado. The meaning of this verse is, it is very hard, it is very difficult to reborn as a human being. And it is very difficult, very hard, the life, to live a life as a human being. And it is very difficult to get a chance to listen the pure Dhamma. And it is very difficult that the Buddha to be enlightened. So the 4 difficult aspects, to be born as a human being is very, very difficult, not very easy. And to be able to live our life as a human being also not easy, very difficult, very hard. And to get a chance to listen the real Dhamma, the genuine Dhamma, the pure Dhamma, this is not also not very easy. It's very hard. And to become a Buddha in the world, also very hard. So the first one, I want to focus on the first one, that it is very hard to reborn as a human being. What do you think? The Buddha said that it's very difficult, it's very hard to reborn as a human being. What do you think? Oh, in the world, the population is growing so fast. Yeah, there are so many people in the world, the population is going so fast. So it's not hard, we think. It's very easy to reborn as a human being. But the Buddha said that it is not easy. Only if the conditions are met, then you can reborn as a human being. The Buddha gave an example there is an ocean, and one man throw a yoke which has a hole, a single hole into that ocean. The wind carries out this yoke from east to west, from west to east, from north to south, from south to north. This means that yoke is moving around all the time, moving here and there all the time. And there is a blind turtle in that ocean, at the base of the ocean. And this blind turtle also moving around inside the ocean. It is not staying at the same place. It is moving from here and there. And this blind turtle, it pop up its head once in every 100 years. Once in every 100 years, it pop up its head. And so the Buddha asked the monks, is there any chance that when the blind turtle pop up its head once in every 100 years, it can insert its head inside that hole of the yoke, which is moving all the time? Is there any chance? Is it possible? The Buddha asked the monks. The monks replied that it is impossible. It is impossible. Only if the conditions are met, then the head of the turtle can go into that hole of the yoke. But it's very hard, almost impossible. Same way, to be reborn as a human being is not easy. It's very hard. Only if the conditions are met, then we can reborn as a human being. Especially for a person who has fallen down in the lower realms. It is very hard for that person to reborn as a human being. Because in the lower realms, beings will not get any chance to do the wholesome deeds, to do the good, to conduct the good actions, because they have to bear the lot of sufferings and they cannot think about the wholesome deeds. And also to the Buddha to become a Buddha also not easy, because the Buddha has to fulfill various perfections for a long, long period. So it is not easy. And even if the Buddha is a reason in the world, but again, it is not easy for us to get a chance to listen his pure Dhamma. So we all are very lucky. We all are very lucky to be born as a human being. Although the Buddha has passed away, but his Dhamma is still alive. His Dhamma is still alive in the world. So we have a chance to learn and to practice the pure Dhamma, the pure teachings of the Buddha. So we must be very glad because we are very lucky to have this chance. So all of you are here because the center has conducted this retreat. Means the center is giving you a chance to learn something. To learn something. That is why when we have this type of opportunity, we must grab this opportunity. We must take utmost benefits from this opportunity. Then we can be called a wise person. If we can take the benefits from this opportunity that we are having right now. So I would like to encourage you all to put our utmost effort in the practice. You all will have, I think you all have your own purpose, own objective coming to this retreat. Some of you may have the purpose of calming down the mind because our mind is busy all the time. And some of you may want to reduce the stress that you are having in your daily lives. Or some of you want to have some knowledge, the Vipassana knowledge, and some of you have the purpose. Some of you have, may you want to be attain some special dhammas. So whatever objectives you have, while you are here, try to put utmost effort to fulfill that purpose. So this morning you have already listened the instructions from Sayadaw. Now you know how to practice, how to do sitting meditation, how to do walking meditation. And this morning when Sayadaw gave instruction, he talked about something. I don't know if you are aware or if you remember that. Sayadaw said that although you are very strong, you must behave like a weak person. You must behave like you don't have any strength, very weak. Yeah. There is one verse authored by Venerable Katyayana, Sakhu Masa Yatha Ando, Sota wa Bahiro, Panya Wasa Yatha Mugo, Balawa Dubaloriwa. So this verse actually is very, very helpful and useful for the meditators, for the yogis. What is the meaning of this verse? The meaning this morning, Sayadaw already told. Sakhu Masayatha Ando. Although you can see, you have eyes, you can see everything, but you must behave like a blind person, that you can't see anything. This means we must not see here and there when we are practicing here. We must control our eye, especially in walking meditation. We must control our eyes. If we cannot control our eyes, what will happen? If we see something very beautiful, then we want to look it again and again. We become very curious. Oh, what is this? How is this? We want to see it again and again. Desire is there. And if we see something unfavorable, something we don't like, then immediately anger may arise. Anger may arise. So greed, hatred, this desire, this anger, they can defile our mind. So we lose our mindfulness when we look here and there. If we cannot control our eyes, we lose our mindfulness. Therefore, it is very important when you go for the intensive retreat, you have to control your eyes. Must not look here and there. We must behave like a blind person. But it does not mean that we have to keep our eyes closed all the time. It does not mean that. It means that we must not look too far, right, left, in front, behind. We must not look like that. We always should cast eyes down. Yeah. When you are walking from one place to another place, when you are going back to your room, when you are going to the dining hall or to toilets, you always look down about 2 meters in front of you. You cast your eyes down. if we look here and there, the mind will be distracted by many objects around us. So behaving like a blind person means controlling our eyes, not looking here and there. This will help a lot to keep our mindfulness. And the second thing is, although our ear is very good, we can hear sounds very clearly, but we must behave like a deaf, means we don't hear anything. That means we do not pay attention to the sounds around us. Whenever we hear something, because our mind is very fast, we immediately think about that sound. What sound is it? Who is making this sound? So those types of thoughts arise in our mind very quickly because we are paying attention to the sound. Here the Venerable Kaccayana, Mahakaccayana said, although you have an ear, you must behave like a deaf. Means we should not pay attention to the sound. Again, especially during walking meditation. While walking, sometimes we hear many different sounds. And our attention goes there and we are listening to that sound. If the sound we heard, we like it. If we like that sound, then we just keep listening that sound. We do not realize that we are losing our mindfulness. We do not realize, oh, I'm losing my mindfulness. Sometimes we think that, oh, I'm still mindful because I can hear that sound. But actually, we lose mindfulness for quite a long time. Although we say, oh, I know I am hearing, I hear that sound, but nothing is not there. Nothing is not present. Means mindfulness is not there. Therefore, Venerable Mahakaccayana said that we must behave as a deaf, although our ear is very sharp. We should not pay attention. During sitting meditation also, we may hear different sounds inside the Dhamma hall or from outside. Inside the Dhamma hall, maybe some yogis having cough, moving a bit, that makes noise. And if we are paying attention to that sound, the anger may arise because we are noting the objects with full effort and focusing. And at the meantime, we heard the sound and we feel disturbed. We feel our mind distracted by that sound. So what to do that when such thing happens? If we heard the sound by chance and our mind is there, then immediately we have to make a leveling, hearing, hearing. We have to note it immediately, hearing, hearing, hearing. If we can do like that, then anger may not have a chance to arise. This is very important. As soon as you hear the sound, don't think about that sound. Don't pay attention to that sound. If your attention is already on that sound, then note it immediately as hearing, 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 so that this sound will not disturb your practice. And if the sound you like, you heard the sound which you liked, don't pay attention to it again. You have to note it immediately, otherwise greed may arise. And another fact that the Venerable Katsayana said, although you have a knowledge, you are knowledgeable, but you must behave as a dumb. Means you know nothing. This is also very important, because when we have some experiences before this retreat, sometimes we are going back, means we are thinking about our past experience and we are comparing it with the present experience, and we are making, we are judging ourselves, we are making decision about our practice. That also distract our practice actually. So although we have a knowledge, maybe the theoretical knowledge or maybe the practical knowledge from our past retreats, we just leave all of them behind. We just try to stay in the present moment. We don't think about our past knowledges, past experiences. Our Pandita Rama Sayāgyi always encourages the yogis to practice as a beginner. Although a meditator have done many retreats before, but whenever they come for the new retreat, Sayāgyi said, you must behave as a new beginner. And this is also very important, and this is very helpful. Because a new beginner means he doesn't know anything yet. So he just follow the instructions. He just follow the instructions that makes him progress in the practice. Therefore, considering oneself as a new beginner is very helpful in the practice. Not thinking about any knowledge, the theoretical knowledge or the past experiences, just focusing on the present objects arising in the mind and body, that helps to progress quickly in the practice. Therefore, Venerable Katsayana said, although you have a lot of knowledges, but you must behave as a dumb. And the most important fact, the fourth fact, is that the meditators must behave as a weak and sick person. Although they are healthy, although they have a strength, energy, but they must behave as a weak, very sick person. And this is most important fact in the practice. What it means that the meditators in the intensive retreat must move slowly and mindfully. They should reduce their physical motion to zero. They must move very slowly. When we move slowly, we can see the things more clearly. When we move slowly, we will develop mindfulness and concentration very quickly. Even 1 or 2 days, we can see that how the things changed so quickly. So slowing down one's physical activities is very important. It is very helpful for the quick progress in the practice. Therefore, when you go from one place to another place, if you don't have anything to do, if you don't have to deal with other fellow yogis, you can do slowly, but mindfully. Mindfulness should be there. You are moving slowly, but you are thinking something else, and that is not fruitful. That is not worthy. You move slowly and you are observing every movements of your body. But when you are dealing with other yogis, for example, in the dining hall, when getting food, there is a long queue. In such situation, you can move in normal pace. You can move in normal pace. Just be careful not to lose your mindfulness. But when you have your own time, especially when you are inside the Dhamma hall, and when you are specifically doing walking meditation, you try to do it slowly. When you sit down, you try to sit down slowly as much as you can. When you stand up from sitting posture, you try to stand up slowly. When you bow down, you try to bow down slowly. But when you are dealing with other yogis, you try to do in normal pace. So when we slow down our physical motions, we can see whether we are mindful or not very clearly. We can see how fast the mind, our mind. Otherwise, we think that, oh, my mind is very good. My mind is always focusing on the objects. My mind can see, my mind can note the things without missing anything. Every single object I can note. We think like that. But when we slow down our motions, when we try to be mindful, then we come to see that whether we can catch every single objects or not. How many objects we lose in between. We can see that. And the meditators who move slowly, they progress very quickly. They can see the nature of mind and matter very quickly and very clearly. They can gain the insight knowledges very quickly. Therefore, the verse authored by the Venerable Kaccayana, to behave as a blind, although the eyesight is very good, to behave as a deaf, although the ear is very sharp, to behave as a dumb, although he is very knowledgeable, and to behave as a very weak or sick person, although he is very strong. This is very helpful, very supportive for the insight mindfulness practice. Therefore, today I would like to encourage you all that you are having a very good chance to be reborn as a human. We all are human beings. We have a chance to practice. We have a chance to listen to Buddha's true teachings. So we should grab this opportunity, this chance, so that we gain something very valuable. So today, I just would like to stop my short encouragement talk here. May you all be able to follow the teachings of the Buddha. May you all be able to apply it in actual practice. And may you all be able to gain the knowledges very soon. That's all for today.